What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of The Sauce. It has been 1 month already in the NHL season, and I can't believe it. As I'm recording this on a February evening, we're only a couple days past the 1 month mark since the season started January 13th. And man, has time flown. COVID continues to be a thorn in the side in the NHL unless you're the North Division. Not a single COVID test, which is what happened in the playoffs last year. Not one COVID test, and yet somehow all up and down this travel, COVID just continues to be a thing. So as I mentioned, this is the video of the 1 month mark of the 2021 NHL season. So without further ado, let's get saucing. So in today's video, I just want to talk about a few things, some leaders so far in the 2021 season, and just some things I've noticed. So it shouldn't be a very lengthy video, just to kind of, hey, it's been a month, this is what's going on. That's it. So let's kind of rapid fire through the division leaders. That seems to be a fun topic. So leading the North Division, the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have 26 points on the season, powerhouse of the North, in a division that really doesn't play much of any defense. The scores on these games is ridiculous. And goaltending, I mean, aside from Freddie Anderson leading the league in wins with 10, there's really not a whole lot of defense going on. So high-flying, high-scoring division, Toronto Maple Leafs in the lead with 26 points. Moving over to the West Division, and yes, babe, that's right, your Vegas Golden Knights are leading the division with 21 points. This is a good powerhouse top four division. The bottom four teams are fun and exciting to watch. I do like some of the rookies in their lineups, and I really enjoy just watching some good old-fashioned hockey. The Minnesota Wild have had the longest COVID break in this division, and it's showing in the standings currently, unfortunately for them. But again, Vegas powerhouse team leading the league, leading their division with 21 points, and they actually play the outdoor game this Saturday with Colorado, so that's going to be fun to watch. All right, so moving on to the Central Division, and leading is the Florida Panthers? What? So yeah, that's a thing. Florida Panthers leading the Central Division. Well, all right. And hey, you know what? Rightfully so. The Panthers are looking great, leading the Central Division with 22 points. They took a 2 out of 3 against the Lightning in this past week, and they looked phenomenal. And they just beat the Hurricanes to take the division lead in a thrilling OT game. So again, if you remember my first video, I said that I didn't have the Panthers in the top four. And the reason being is every time I cheer for them and I say they're going to do well and I say they're going to go to the playoffs, they don't. So maybe this is punishment for not putting them in the top four. But hey, you know what? I'll take it. They're looking good. The Lightning have a couple more games against them, so we'll see how that goes. But Panthers looking good. Little last note on the Panthers. A lot of their offseason moves, similar to the Toronto Maple Leafs, are proving to pay off. They made a lot of low-budget, small signings, and that created a lot of depth up and down the Panthers lineup. So kudos to them, and it seems to be paying off so far, so let's see if they can keep up the pace. All right, and the last division to talk about, leading the East Division, the Boston Bruins. So they have 22 points on the season thus far, and I know what I said. I thought they were going to be out of the top four. The season's still young yet, but I mean, I don't know. This Bruins team is looking great. Tuukka Rask and Jaroslav Halak looking solid in net. That was a big question mark for me with Tuukka's early exit in last year's playoffs, saying that he wasn't going to play for the Bruins. They lost their captain in Big Z. They lost, Torrey Krug to St. Louis. I don't know, but I mean, they have Pasta, Marchand, they have Patrice Bergeron. They're still a good team. So I don't know. We'll see. The season's still young yet. It's only a month into the season, but Boston Bruins looking sharp and could run away with this East Division if the rest of the teams don't start stepping up their game. All right, so that's the division leaders. Let's talk some stat leaders. I know I haven't talked a whole lot of stats. I don't want to lose the new and not hockey fans, so I want to do just a few bit of stat points for my hockey fans, and then maybe my non-hockey fans will get excited about it. I don't know. Let's give it a shot. So no surprise there that Connor McDavid is leading the league with 32 points. He actually just hit a huge milestone, joining Sidney Crosby to score 500 points in 396 games. It's amazing. It's fantastic. You know, Connor McDavid is a phenomenal generational player. I just hope on the Oilers he can get things done, and just he's a lot of fun to watch, and it's no surprise he's leading the league with points. So leading the league in goals from the Toronto Maple Leafs, you have Austin Matthews. He's leading the league with 14 goals. And again, like I said, the North Division is rarely playing defense, so almost every one of those games has been high-flying, high-scoring games. And, you know, he's a phenomenal player, just like Connor McDavid. He's a generational talent. And so far, he leads the league with goals, 14. All right, so leading the league with assists is also Connor McDavid with 23. Kind of funny, that reverse number there. So Connor McDavid leading the league in assists with 23 points, or 23 assists, excuse me. So no surprise there that he's in 2 of the 3 of these player categories. Just a phenomenal player to watch. And again, North Division, not playing much defense, so a lot of fun, high-scoring games. All right, and let's give the goalies some love, shall we? The tendies of the net. So I wanted to base this off of 10 games played because with COVID going on, I looked at the stats and there were some goalies with some high save percentages and good goals against averages, but they hadn't played a whole lot of games. So I wanted to be fair, and I looked minimum 10 games played. Who are my goaltending leaders? All right, so leading the league in both goals against average and save percentage is Colorado Avalanche's Philip Grubauer. He currently leads the league with a 1.64 goals against average and also has a save percentage of .936. So when you have one of the league's best offenses and a solid young defensive core in front of you, Philip Grubauer is holding his own in the net, and I mean, it's great to see. I remember early on in the first video, I said that was a concern of mine, the goaltending for Colorado, because Philip Grubauer has not always been healthiest. And, you know, he really hasn't shown that he is the #1 starter, but he's gotten better each year along with the injuries that occur. So kudos to Philip Grubauer. Hopefully that continues for him in the Colorado Avalanche. So the only category that he doesn't have, or 2 categories that he doesn't have, are wins and shutouts. So the most wins by a goaltender this season is Freddie Anderson from the Toronto Maple Leafs with 10. So again, you know, high-octane offense in the North Division, so the save percentage, goals against average is not going to be the best for those goalies, but Freddie Anderson is, as I've said before, one of the better goaltenders in this league. Some inconsistency there, yes. They overplay him, yes. But, hey, he leads the league with 10 wins, so good for him. And then in shutouts, you have Islanders goaltender Semyon Varlamov with 3 shutouts. That Islanders team is a stout defensive team coached by Barry Trotz, and that's the way he plays hockey. As I've said before, they're not super exciting, they're not high-flying, but they can surprise you with some high-scoring games. But most of their games this year, I believe, have been pretty low-scoring, and you know, kudos to Semyon Varlamov for continuing his success from last year. All right, and the last bit of stats that I want to talk is the power play and penalty kill percentage. So I did want to put some sort of team stat in there other than the division leaders. So leading the league in power play percentage is the Dallas Stars with 33%. And I said it before, I thought the start to this season with COVID was going to be their kryptonite. They weren't going to get momentum going. They were going to fall flat. And I originally had them pick number 4. Even knowing the COVID protocols they had, I just didn't realize it would go that long. Now, with the inclement weather that we have in Dallas, they're postponing their game tonight, and they have other postponed games, I'm sure, coming up. So with the weather crazy all over the US, and I'm sure in Canada as well, these postponed games, the COVID protocols, man, Dallas can't catch a break, and neither can the Central Division. So leading the league with the PK percentage, or penalty kill percentage, the Colorado Avalanche with 88%. So that kind of ties into what I said before about Philip Grubauer. Best goals against average with 10 games played, best save percentage with 10 games played. This team is great from top to bottom. They have amazing depth. They just need to continue the success throughout the regular season. So, and again, they do play the Vegas Golden Knights in the outdoor game this weekend on Saturday, and I'm super excited. I've looked at pictures of the rink. I know I'm getting ahead of myself. But anyway, it is beautiful, the outdoor rink in Utah, and instantly a place that I want to travel to. So if you have the opportunity out there, my friends, go watch that Saturday, I think it's afternoon? Saturday afternoon lake skate game. That's what I'm calling it, outdoor game. Vegas, Colorado, what more can you want? It's gonna be a fun game to watch. And so the last thing that I want to talk about, speaking of team stats, I mentioned the division leaders at the beginning of the video here. I wanted to mention the bottom 5 teams, and I don't mean to end on a somber note, but at the same time, there are some surprises in these bottom 5 and some that are not surprises. So kind of in descending order here, I've got Nashville, New York, Detroit, Buffalo, and Ottawa. So no surprise there with Ottawa and Detroit being in the top being in the bottom 5. They're on the rebuild, and they have a young, promising core. So eventually they will be on the up and up, but no surprise for those 2 teams. The surprises are with Nashville, New York, and Buffalo. I know Buffalo's in a tough division, but adding Taylor Hall, they have Jack Eichel, they have such forward depth, they have too many defensemen that they don't know what to do with. Their goaltending is the only thing that I've always mentioned is an issue. But I just don't understand how this Buffalo team just continues to disappoint year after year. And at least last couple seasons, they've been off to hot starts. They're in the bottom 5, and I just don't know. They just don't show any signs of improvement. The earlier video that I had Buffalo and New Jersey as exciting surprises, and I don't know where that went. It was like overnight, they disappeared. So it's unfortunate they're at the bottom of the league right now. And then New York and Nashville, I don't understand what's going on with Nashville or New York, to be honest. New York is not seeming to build off of that end of last season whatsoever. Mika Zibanejad has had nothing to show for anything, really. He's got hardly any points, any goals, any assists, and I just don't understand why. Guys like Artemi Panarin, they have their rookies like Capo Caco and Alexis Lafreniere. Like, that offense should be obliterating teams. Even in a tough Eastern Division, they should be lighting the lamp as much as they're getting scored on. So I really don't understand. As far as Nashville goes, they've always had that difficulty with being a consistently productive offensive team. However, to be where they are at the 1 month mark in that Central Division is very surprising. Chicago, as it sits right now, is one of the top 4 teams in that division. Granted, they played more games. However, they look better than Nashville does, and I don't understand what's going on with that team. Hopefully they can turn it around. If not, I really don't know what's going to happen with them. So there you have it, about a month's recap in a short amount of time. I didn't want to go too far into depth on some of the topics, but again, there's some surprise teams out there. There are teams like Columbus who just really need to pull it together in the Central Division before they find themselves on the outside looking in. And then teams like Chicago who, despite having mentioned that they're in a rebuild, young goaltending that is just helping them stay in that division. And other surprises throughout the league. So again, it's exciting hockey to watch. I've been super excited that hockey's back. Again, we're only 1 month into the season. We'll see where it goes from here. So thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video on the 1 month recap of the season thus far. And hopefully you can check out some of our other videos that we have going on. Not just the sauce, check out our main channel with Slice of Life. My wife and I are posting some interesting content. We have some fun things that we're working through the pipeline. So be sure to give those a look, give them a like, give them a share. You know the drill. I don't have to go through it with you all. And again, stay saucy.